Every day of our lives is potentially the day when we are involved in a serious accident. A few of us can't even make it out of the bedroom. Others don't make it down the stairs in one piece. A lot of us manage to cut or burn ourselves in the kitchen. And when it comes to do-it-yourself accidents, it seems there's no stopping us. Even if we manage to avoid an accident at home, there's plenty more ways we can kill and injure ourselves and others on the roads. Sadly, many of these will be children. And how many of us have had a near miss recently?
Think. Slow down.
And when we get to work, are we any safer? Well, statistically we are, but still far too many of us lose eyes or limbs, fall from height, get hit by moving vehicles, or do stupid things which cost us dearly for the rest of our lives. But why do we risk being killed or severely injured by an accident at work? It's because we make bad decisions, often through rushing or lack of planning, and rely to a large extent on luck. Every fatality starts with an unsafe act, and according to statistics, 1 in 2 million unsafe acts will result in a death. However, on average, there will be approximately 240,000 near misses, 20,000 minor injuries, and 400 reportable serious injuries, leading up to a death.
You join me now outside the Crown Court, where shortly we're expecting to hear details of one of the stiffest penalties ever imposed for failures in health and safety management in the construction industry. Earlier today, I spoke to the mother of one of the victims.
Somebody needs to take responsibility for this. They stand up and they talk about their excellent safety record and how it was just a tragic series of events that never should have got that far. But it did. And they need to go to prison for it. Because that's what they've given us. A life sentence.
A scaffolder called Joe was working on a construction site about 10 metres from the ground when his mobile phone rang. So he stopped what he was doing to answer it.
Hello, love, what's up?
Now this in itself is an unsafe act when working on scaffolding, and as he became more agitated, Joe inched nearer to the guardrail, which he had already loosened at one end.
Hang on, I'll have to call you back later.
His unsafe act was just one of 2 million unsafe acts where nothing else happened. Except it didn't quite happen that way. In almost all serious accidents, 85% of them could have been prevented by the person who had the injury. Joe failed to see the hazard caused by loosening the guardrail while not clipped on. He didn't realise who might be in danger of an accident. He didn't think about the risk of answering his phone while in an unsafe position. And so there was nothing to prevent what happened next.
Just see if you can knock him down.
Joe broke both his legs, fractured his pelvis, and suffered a serious spinal injury. But after months in hospital, the doctors managed to put him back together again. Apart from the injuries which disabled him for life, he lost his income, his freedom, and he couldn't even obtain compensation. And the cost of preventing his accident? Nothing. When he came crashing over the side of the scaffolding, I heard him scream. I looked up, and that was the last thing I ever saw. You see, I was killed instantly when the board Joe was holding sailed beyond the safety fence and struck me on the head. And whatever the cost of Joe's injuries, they are nothing compared to mine. I have children who will grow up without a mother, and a husband who will have to cope without me.
mind didn't register right away to what had happened. It was real, like, too quick. It was just a bang bang type thing. Like, this just happened. You know, you can try to pull your hand in there, but you know there's no way you can pull your hand in. I try to pick up the handle, open up the couplers from one side, but it wouldn't do it on the one that's connected to the locomotive. And so I turned my back around. I went to the other one like that to open up that one. So when I heard that noise of the rock hitting, that's what kind of turned around. It was real quick. My hand got coupled up. You had to think about it for a second, like, this just happened. You know, you can try to pull your hand in there, but you know there was no way it was gonna get out. That's why, like, just, told him take it south, take it south. I remember running to the emergency response team. I didn't want to look at it. I just had it holding my right hand holding it over there. And once I got in the ambulance, my mind just closed out of that, blanked out of that. I guess you get too comfortable with your people that you work with, and it can all be prevented if it was just going by the procedures. It's supposed to be used every single time. It's supposed to. So when I told him just hold what you got, instead of me saying, okay, red zone for a coupler or something like that, them steps could have saved my hands, my fingers. Follow your procedures every single time. Because that one time you don't, it could cost you. Something that could have been prevented, and I wish it would have, because it changed it. I mean, from seeing your family to having your daughter don't want to hold your hand. But after a while, she's coming around. She's gotten where, she starts holding my hand now. Like, so that makes me want to push on, but I mean, it affects you all the way around. It's life-changing. It really is.
No one wants to come to work and get hurt. No one intends to come to work and get hurt. So our objective is to come to work, do the things that we have to do them safely, and at the end of the day, go home back to your family the way you came to work.